Next chapter is inventory management, chapter 12. In this chapter, we're going to cover these topics: the importance of inventory, managing inventory, and we'll be looking at inventory models. And then these inventory models are specifically for independent demand inventory items. And the models that we will look at for safety stock will be probabilistic models. Then we will look at single period models and fixed period systems. So when we complete this chapter, you will be able to do a ABC analysis. You will be able to explain what cycle counting is, and you'll be able to compute problems with EOQ models for independent inventory demand items, and you'll be able to compute reorder point and safety stock under various conditions. Inventory management. What is the objective of inventory management? It is to strike a balance between inventory investment, the amount of money that we spend on inventory, and customer service. Customer service here specifically refers to the probability of meeting customer demand at the promised delivery date, or when the demand arises, our ability to meet that demand, as opposed to when there is a demand and we don't have inventory in stock. So the demand is not satisfied. So there is a probability that we will lose that sale. So one way of making sure that we never lose sales, never are always able to meet the demand, is to keep a lot of inventory. And when we keep a lot of inventory, then the inventory related costs go up significantly. At the same time, if we want to minimize inventory investment and we keep too low of an inventory, then the risk of not being able to meet customer demand goes up. So the idea of inventory management is to strike a balance between these two competing objectives. Competing objectives, one being to keep the inventories low, and the second being keeping the probability of, or maximizing the probability of meeting the demand from stock as high as possible. And the importance of inventory. Why is studying inventory important? It is because it is one of the most expensive assets for any company, and it can go as high as 50% of total invested capital. So much of money locked into inventory. It is extremely important to manage it in a most efficient way. And of course, the second importance of inventory is that the availability of that inventory is important to be able to meet customer demand in a timely fashion. Functions of inventory. Well, the first and obvious function of inventory is to be able to meet the anticipated customer demand, whatever the fluctuations may be. Customer demand may go up and down, and we should be able to meet those ups and downs in demand with the available inventory. So the inventory's function is to be able to meet that demand. And another problem that we may face in production situations is that production at one workstation may depend upon supplies coming from various other sources. Now, if we keep the inventories very low, then a given workstation may starve for parts for that workstation to continue production. So if there is a way, like for example, if one of those upstream machines breaks down and the supplies don't come in, then this machine has to stop functioning. So one role of inventory is to decouple the machines so that there is enough inventory in between. Even if there is a disruption in one of those machines, the supply of parts to a given work center is not disrupted. So decoupling various parts of the production process is another function of inventory. And one more reason why we may build inventory up is because there may be times when additional discounts are offered by our vendors if we order in larger quantities than what we immediately need. So to take advantage of quantity discounts, we may order more than what we need right away, and that would result in inventory. And one more reason is to hedge against inflation. So we expect prices to go up, and airline companies do this by signing contracts for fuel, so that they can lock in prices. If they think that the prices are going to go up, then they can order and keep supplies coming at lower cost. Types of inventory. Okay, there is of course raw material inventory that is coming into a production environment, and then as the raw material gets processed, then partially completed parts which are not completed yet, but some work has been done. So those are the work in process inventory that is inside the production facility. And then and this process of partial completion of products and undergoing different stages of completion is part of the cycle time of the product, or lead time of the product from start to finish. And then of course there is another category of inventory which is maintenance and repair parts, and these sometimes can be quite expensive repair parts, and which we may not need unless there is a breakdown. So managing maintenance and repair and operating spare parts is an important consideration. And finally, the finished goods inventory. The finished goods inventory will always be present in a manufacturing company, but in retail companies there will only be finished goods inventory. You are not going to see raw materials or work in process inventory or maintenance. Like if you go to Walmart or Target, you're going to see only finished goods inventory and not the others.